As someone who's ravenous for anything even vaguely cyberpunk, I've been closely following Watch Dogs since it was first announced. With a stunningly beautiful E3 demo and the promise of giving players control of Chicago, it had some pretty lofty claims to live up to. The graphics have obviously taken a hit since the E3 demo was shown, but Watch Dogs still manages to impress. General graphical competency aside, Watch Dogs' lighting engine is what really sets it apart. Driving around the city at night, light glinting off of surfaces can create a hypnotic light show. Screens placed around the city are reflected by the smooth sections of roadways, even when the roads are dry. But when it starts raining, pedestrians grumble, puddles grow on the edges of roadways, everything looks strikingly wet. Your character periodically wipes the screen of his phone, and rain bounces off of horizontal surfaces. A pervasive attention to detail adds to an incredible sense of immersion that sucks the player into the game, and without this, the stealth wouldn't hold nearly as much weight and tension as it does. Stealth is tight and uses the hacking mechanic to its utmost advantage. Without limiting the player in the approaches they can take to any given situation, the stealth and hacking combination ends up playing like a puzzle game, and one that's hugely rewarding to get right. Being an open-world game, comparisons to the reigning champion of the genre, Grand Theft Auto, are inevitable. While I don't deny that there are some distinct similarities, it also bears a significant resemblance to another Ubisoft title, Assassin's Creed, in that it heavily features stealth in an open-world setting. Unlike Assassin's Creed, however, a huge amount of variety is available to the player, and most missions can be approached with a mind for stealth, or for an all-out guns-blazing assault. This seems like it would have been incredibly difficult to balance, but both routes managed to feel very rewarding. The campaign took me about 25 hours to complete, though I will admit that a fair portion of my time was spent exploring or indulging in one of the numerous distractions. The variety of things to do in Watch Dogs is pretty staggering. Pressing up on your D-pad brings up your smartphone, which gives access to a few obvious menus and options, but also contains numerous mini-games, the audio logs you've collected, a Shazam sort of app, and even a Foursquare app that lets you leave gifts for other players that visit the same landmark as you. Sadly, the same attention was not given to the story. While nicely animated and voice-acted, the cutscenes do little to connect missions to the central plot, leaving the player progressing through the game without a clear understanding of why they're doing what they are. Even so, the general idea of your goal is kept in mind through frequent phone calls from various characters, so you never lose track of where you're headed, just of where you are. The characters themselves are much the same. While sufficiently interesting, they played a little too close to common archetypes to be truly unique. The main character is the gruff anti-hero with a soft spot for family we've come to know so well. Then you have the hacker chick, who is, unsurprisingly, a tattoo artist, as well as the rock and roll rebel, complete with dreads and a bar fight introduction. The main bad guy is your typical old bad guy, so don't expect anything too interesting there either. There are two interesting characters, though. Jordy is a contract killer with enough wit to be comic relief, and Damien has some flavors of the Joker in his performance, though sadly is nowhere near as diabolical. It's a shame they don't show up more than they did. Though it never openly addresses it, the game manages to comment on how companies, such as the fictional Bloom, are monitoring us more and more. Through hacking into their servers for leaks, you'll see footage of cannibals, jerks, breakups, lovers, and anything and everything else, calling into question the morality of such a monitoring system. It's a shame this is never brought into the narrative, as it could be a very interesting gray area to explore. Difficulty is at times a bit screwy, though no mission is outright impossible, and an occasionally wonky checkpoint system can cause some rage. There was one point where I completed a mission, saw a prompt to climb down, and the next thing I knew I had fallen 20 stories and was back at the start of a lengthy fight. Even with these minor gripes, I still highly recommend Watch Dogs to anyone who wants a modern Assassin's Creed or a stealthy GTA. The cyberpunk flair is a sure hit with me personally, and the hacking is rewarding and intuitive. If you've been on the fence about this one, go buy it. Hello, and thanks for watching my first review. Please like, dislike, leave me a comment, and maybe subscribe if you deem me worthy. Scroll down a bit to the description and you'll find some links to my Twitter, Facebook, and Tumblr pages, where I'll post all sorts of goodies for you fine folks to enjoy.